Hello everyone and welcome to the Hobby Guard. In today's video we will be looking at the reveal trailer of Chaos Gate Deathwatch, a Warhammer 40,000 game. This got revealed at Skulls 2016, that big Warhammer video game event. And a bunch of stuff got revealed and I have had a lot of trouble catching up because I was literally moving that very same weekend. So it's been hard for me to catch up. And this won't be like my first time watching this trailer. I did watch it once when it came out and I got super hyped for it. I didn't do like a deep dive, I didn't like look too much into it. But now I will watch this trailer as if this was a month ago, almost 2 weeks ago. And I was watching it for the first time because I played Chaos Gate Daemonhunters, and I absolutely loved that game. I didn't play any of the DLCs, but I think I did buy them. I just haven't had time to play because I am a boomer, I am an unk, I am an adult now and I have so much stuff to do. But I did have a lot of fun with the previous game from Chaos Gate, and I don't know if this is gonna be like a sequel or just an entirely different thing. Obviously it's focused on the Deathwatch as opposed to the Grey Knights. So let's watch this trailer and let's watch the whole thing, and then I'll do a deep dive like frame by frame. See if we can find out anything, theorize or anything that might be coming to the game.
The Xenos descend upon our worlds with claw and teeth. The alien threatens our worlds.
Okay, so right away we got Primaris, which I'm not super hyped about, but it is what it is. We got so many factions of Xenos. Okay, I'll talk about the chapters of Space Marines that we see, because that's my favorite thing. And there's a Dreadnought, obviously. So it is a sequel. Wow. Okay, so there's an Inquisitor and a Psyker.
For the enemies of the Imperium, there is only death.
So we got Tau, we got Gene Stealers, and we also saw Orcs. Redemptor Dreadnought, why not? There's Astra Militarum apparently. Nice. And there's a Chaos Spawn. No, that's not a Chaos Spawn. What are they called? A Void... a Warp Beast, I think they're called. Okay, let's go back, because of course there has to be some warp shenanigans because it's called Chaos Gate, right? So first thing that absolutely made me go mad about this trailer, the Blood Angel character. I am very hyped about that. Okay, let's address this real quick. First of all, the variety of opponents, I'm all for that. In the original Daemonhunters Chaos Gate game, we only had basically Norgal like cultists and Plague Marines and so on. So this is cool. This is absolutely cool. I guess there's, in the first episode, the tutorial, the first level, there's like Khornite demons as well. There is that. But the variety in enemy factions is something I'm very hyped about. And the second thing that I'm very hyped about is that my beautiful Blood Angel, and he is a Jump Pack Assault Marine apparently. Jump Pack Assault Intercessor. It is kind of unfortunate that he's a Primaris because I don't like Primaris. I mean, I don't hate the Primaris, they're okay. I have a billion Primaris back there. But I hope there is some customization available for us. But even more so, I like the idea that the chapters seem to indicate what role they will be playing, because that is one of the things that I like the most about the Deathwatch, like the Deathwatch kill teams and how they are formed. Like I have I have two Deathwatch kill teams, I suppose, and the most fun part for me is like putting them together and kit bashing each character and like how I haven't painted them yet, but which colors I'm gonna paint them on based on their chapter and based on what role they're gonna be playing, right? Like obviously the Blood Angels you would expect them to be a melee sort of shock troop kind of role, kind of like fast assault role, because that is what their chapter specializes in. It doesn't always have to be that way on the Deathwatch, mind you, but if they're gonna be there, they might as well. So I hope that, you know, if you get a character with a heavy flamer, I hope that he's a salamander. We sort of see a salamander after somewhat after this, but there is this system in the previous Chaos Gate where you get to recruit, you get to requisition Grey Knights for your campaign, and they have different classes. You have a Psyker, you have an Apothecary, you have a Paladin. You can requisition all those characters, but perhaps you can do that, the same thing again, like requisition different classes. But now there will be a sort of like lore nice tie-in where the chapters that they come from will determine to an extent their is that how you say it? Will somewhat determine, let's say, my English abandons me, their role, which role they'll be playing, their specialization. For example, let's say an Imperial Fist destroyer, well, or with a machine gun, with a heavy bolter, sorry, or a shock troop, assault jump pack, Blood Angel. I love that. Now we get to see some more enemy factions here. This will be so fun. Okay, we have the Black Templar there, and he seems to be an Aegis specialist. He has the mace, and he has the shield, and I think I missed, was that a salamander with the hammer? Okay, yeah, it's a salamander with the thunder hammer, which also sort of makes sense for the salamanders. They are famed for having thunder hammers, and I do like the torch on the back, right there, on his power pack, because I put torches on my kill team Space Marines, on some of them. I think I did a Guardian of the Covenant, who is a very like ascetic monk kind of character, because that's their chapter lore, the Guardians of the Covenant. And part of me was like, is this torch, is it a torch or a brazier? Let's call it a torch. Is this torch in the back like too silly, perhaps, because, you know, Deathwatch operatives are supposed to be completely like very tactical, whatever, like there's maybe less adornment in their armors and so on, because they prioritize things like stealth and just tactical maneuverability. It makes sense, again, because Ultramarines are very strategic and tactical minded. That's their whole deal, so I appreciate that. I just noticed the Black Templar's shield is like Black Templar's he has the Black Templar's iconography, which is interesting. I would figure he would have the traditional Deathwatch shield, which is awesome, by the way, and I really like, I guess, the shape of the shield, the frame of the shield is the same, so that's cool too. And then the Dreadnought walks in. Now, I didn't get to see which chapter the Dreadnought was from, but that is cool. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about here. The team composition. We have an Inquisitor there, which sort of makes sense, but I wonder whether it'll be like in Daemonhunters, Chaos Gate Daemonhunters, where you would have the Inquisitor companion in certain levels, but not in all of them, or whether we can always choose to forego one of our operatives, like Space Marine operatives, to bring an Inquisitor with us, which of course would you would have to balance out like the pros and the cons. Obviously, combat-wise, the Inquisitor will not be, assuming that's an Inquisitor, not an Interrogator or anything, but they will not be as valuable as a Space Marine, like in regards of like strictly speaking about combat, but maybe they have some other abilities that may help balance that out. Now, there's also a Psyker there, so if you're able to do that, perhaps, again, talking about team composition. So the way it was in Chaos Gate is you get 4 units, if I recall correctly. It's been years, like almost 4 years since I last played that game. Ooh. But you get 4 units that you get to play, and sometimes you get the extra, like Inquisitor or whatever. Here I only see 3 Space Marines and 2 human units. So you get your Psyker, and your Inquisitor, assuming again that's an Inquisitor. And there's probably some... Is that a Force Sword on the Inquisitor? Maybe he also has some psychic powers, I can't really tell. And that relic that he has hanging from his belt there with the palm, like that's showing the palm, maybe that tells us more about which faction. I mean, he's obviously of the Xenos hunting faction, the Ordo Xenos of the Inquisition, but about his role, I don't know. Maybe some Lord Master in the comments below can tell me what they think that is. But what I am wondering is, maybe instead of like trading one Space Marine for one Inquisitor, maybe you can trade one Space Marine for like one Inquisitor and one Psyker, something like that, in regards to your team composition. That would be cool. Now that shot that I accidentally just posted on there with the Aegis, that just makes me reconsider how I should be painting my Aegis shield, because you can see the Aegis shield has some sort of like screen, and there's some sort of like digital like screen and data coming out of the shield. Perhaps it's just like a view screen, I'm not too sure, like a ballistic like screen for the Space Marine to see through, I'm not too sure, but just gives me, quick aside, quick parenthesis, gives me some cool painting ideas. Oh, nice. The Ultramarine with the heavy bolt rifle, that's cool. I think that's a heavy bolt rifle anyways. And here again we get to see more human characters, like baseline human characters. There seems to be an officer with either a power sword, yeah, I think he has a power sword, and just your average guardsman. Now whether these are NPCs or playable characters, I guess we'll get to see that. But again, just going back on my theory, we only see 2 Space Marines here. Perhaps you are able to choose between... Remember, the Deathwatch also play like stealth missions, so perhaps there's some stealth missions, there's some stealth mechanic where if you want to take like a less burly team with like an infiltrator or some guardsmen or something, and just a few Space Marines in case stuff goes down and you have to take down some tougher enemies, that would be cool. You know, that involves a lot of strategy. And just the fact that we get the jump pack assault, like the strike, the jump pack strike, that is so cool. Nice. I want to freeze frame on that Blood Angel, because he's just beautiful. I love my Blood Angels, man. Look at that. Look at that. And I hope, like just in the previous game, you can change their weapons and armor to an extent, because the customization was one of my favorite parts of that game, and actually of every game. Now I could be wrong, but I think we've seen 2 different factions of orcs so far. I want to see what chapter that red note is from. Ah, did I miss it? So hard to tell. Okay, you can't really tell which chapter he's from. Maybe he's like a dreadnought that just got left with the Deathwatch, because I guess that makes more sense. I don't know why a chapter would send a dreadnought for the tithe, the Deathwatch tithe, but it'd be cool. And again, you can see here a guardsman on the left here. I'll point it with the cursor. Then there's an Imperial Fist. I think he's got his plasma incinerator. Then there's the dreadnought, and then there's a human. So perhaps there's like a value point system where you get to be like, okay, you either take 2 Space Marines or a dreadnought, or 2 Space Marines or 2 humans. Sorry, 1 Space Marine or 2 humans, or like this, you know, maybe 1 Space Marine, 2 humans, and a dreadnought. Nah, that's not mathing. I don't know. Worst part is there's probably already like some community post on the website for this game explaining exactly how it's gonna be, and I'm just too lazy to look it up. But there we get to see the Chaos Gate, and I absolutely love that, because it is a very common misconception that like people think in the lore like, oh, the Deathwatch only fight Xenos, they have nothing to do with Chaos. And sure enough, the Deathwatch is obviously like Xenos hunting and Xenos fighting specialist, but often enough in the lore they come face to face with Chaos, because remember, they are basically one of the Space Marine chapters dedicated to the Inquisition. and yes, the Ordo Xenos particularly, but if you ever read the Eisenhorn books, I believe it was the very first book in the trilogy, there is this whole thing where Eisenhorn is tracking down some chaos cultists and some weird, strange plot that takes them to an alien planet which has like weird warp effects on people and has like a weird Xenos race, or was built by a weird Xenos race. I forgot what it was called. And in fact, spoilers I guess for a book, I'm butchering the lore, I read this many years ago, but I do recall, I think there was like an Emperor's Children space marine there in that strange world, and since it was a Xenos world, the Inquisition, obviously via Eisenhorn, got involved, and the Deathwatch got involved. And in fact, Eisenhorn spent some time aboard the ship with the Deathwatch. So it says find out more, so maybe I should have just gone and like found out more before I made this video, but I just wanted to go off the trailer because I really wanted to do a deep dive and reaction to the trailer. I realized this came out a while back, but again, I've been very busy. But now please let me know in the comments down below if you're hyped for this game. What are your theories on the gameplay? Is it gonna be just like the Daemonhunters Chaos Gate game, or is it gonna be something new entirely? I'm dying to read all your predictions, and if you're gonna play this, if you would like me to play this. I mean, I'm gonna play this, obviously. I had so much fun with the first game. I wasted so much time playing the first game, but I don't know, maybe I can stream it when I finally start streaming, now that my studio here is coming together little by little. So once again, thanks for coming, thanks for watching. As always, remember, ad astra, and there are no female custodies.